Our final keynote speaker this morning is Brian Chappell. He is the Sector Vice President and General Manager of Autonomous Systems for Northrop Grumman. Mr. Chappell oversees all of Northrop Grumman's unmanned programs. He most recently served as Vice President of the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter Program for Aerospace Systems Military Aircraft Systems Division. Prior to this role, Mr. Chappell was the Vice President and Business Manager for Advanced Development Programs, where he supported a diverse set of air and space development programs, including the Unmanned Combat Air System Demonstration Program. Please welcome Brian Chappell to the stage. Welcome, Brian. You bet.
Good morning, and I'm not Mr. Chappell. That is definitely my father. I'm Brian, all right? So let's talk about the next big thing. I think you saw the video this morning. That is a video we're proud of at Northrop. It represents a long history, but I'm not really here to talk about what Northrop is doing. I'm really here to talk about the industry. I'll use some examples from Northrop that we have, and you'll see a few slides here, but I'm not going to be flying any drones in. I can't fit a Global Hawk, a new Global Hawk in here. So you're just going to have to pay attention to me for a few minutes, and we'll get through this. But we're going to talk about something, and I'm going to give you actions, but I'm going to be a part of it with you. We've got a lot of opportunity in front of us here in this set of industries. It's not just one industry, obviously. We've got capability, technologies, things that we all want to do. I know from the polling that was done yesterday, this is a group full of innovators, of people who want to do the next big thing and do a whole set of next big things. So how do we go do that? Well, first let me just stop and test this a little bit. I can see you, all right? So who's interested in doing the next big thing? Are we really going to be doing the next big thing, or are we just going to talk about it and maybe kind of come to a show every once in a while? I'm into the next big thing. That's why I'm here. I hope all of you guys are too. Well, okay, a few. So I'm backing this up. I've joined the AUVSI board because I think it's important. It's important not just to my business, but I think it's important to the world. The things that we do, the missions that we're able to do, the capabilities that we're able to bring to people in the world are important, but we can't take it for granted, and there are a lot of things that we need to do to make them happen. So I'm just going to really kind of hit three different elements of this. Talking about a future of autonomy, how do we shape and define that future? What is it? What does it look like? How do we navigate our way through that future? There's definitely some barriers. And then what are the actions that I'm going to ask you and take on myself that we all need to do to make sure that we realize all the opportunities in front of us? So let's get on. Let's start talking about the next big thing. I think to start talking about the future, it's always helpful to get a little perspective and maybe look a little bit backwards. 90 years ago, this month, Spirit of St. Louis, first transatlantic nonstop solo flight. I'm proud to be a part of a company that Ryan is part of Northrop Grumman now, and it's amazing when you think back. I mean, we almost take it for granted now. You can go anywhere in the world very, very easily. But what a huge deal that was 90 years ago. Innovation, commitment, focus, crazy people that could do things and took on challenges. I mean, literally risking their lives. That's real commitment. So that's the type of innovation that I think I feel here, although I didn't see anybody risking their lives, that's good. The way that we can move this forward, though, is really to keep talking about the types of things, the missions, the capabilities that we're able to bring. And that's that future that I think we want to try to get to. Now, as I said, I'll use some of our products as an example, but you can apply it to your own situation and think about what you do and where you could go. And what you did last year is probably different than what you're going to do next year, and it's almost unimaginable what will it look like in 10 years. But for us, 20 years ago, when we started off with that beautiful bird called a Global Hawk, we thought it was doing one thing for the military, and boy, were we wrong. We have found lots of different things, and we continue to find every day new missions. You heard Jim yesterday mention his visit to see the NASA Global Hawks and what they do. The thought of being able to track and provide safely the type of data and information that improves forecasting around dangerous storms, that's a real world difference, that's a future, and that's being enabled by autonomy. We needed to do more, of course, though. 30 hours in the air is great, and that's what the system can do. It can fly over natural disasters, it can do things safely that you wouldn't want pilots in the way of. It overflew the Fukushima nuclear disaster and provided imagery as well. Again, all things that we never thought of when the system first came online. So that's where we are today. We keep looking and finding other missions as we go through it. We have a group of incredibly talented and energetic employees, and we occasionally challenge them. We'll put an innovation challenge out, give everyone a few weeks, and do something really hard. So last year, we did a challenge working with the San Diego Zoo, who have a very difficult time tracking polar bears as sea ice melts in the high north, in the Arctic. And we created a challenge that said, okay, we need to work with the zoo, get a system out there that can follow the polar bears, help them track. You've seen, if you go by our booth, you'll see the model, you'll go, wow, man, Northrop, you're kind of going backwards if that's what you're doing now. But no, that was a drone that a group of employees made in about 8 weeks, and then took it to the far north in Canada, working with the San Diego Zoo. And you know, we didn't save any polar bears this time out, but we're coming back this year. And we're also showing the San Diego Zoo the power of autonomy, something that they never thought of before. Before it was helicopters and airplanes and expensive and dangerous. It's hard to mount a campaign with that type of equipment in some of these locations. So we're helping them understand what autonomy can bring to their mission. And in doing so, we're also learning the missions that we can take along. So scientific discovery is another one of those that we add in that we never really contemplated from the beginning. So where do we go from here? We've got a lot of capabilities. There's, whether it's the systems I'm talking about, the systems that you're working on, the missions, the customers that you're dealing with. There's lots of ways you can go. And I'll just say autonomy in general needs to be something that we just keep moving forward. You heard I run the Autonomous Systems Division. Last year, I changed the name. The division last year was called Unmanned Systems, and changed it to Autonomous Systems because really we wanted to make a statement to ourselves and to our customers. This is what we're about. This is where we're going, because I can't keep doing the missions that I want to be able to do, that I know we can do with the current state of the art. It just is not far enough along. So the incorporation of artificial intelligence, human-machine teaming, basically what we call cognitive autonomy, right? I know everyone starts making the Skynet jokes, but in some places we have to deal with that. But that's not how we view it. Autonomy in these types of systems is the type of capability that it should almost be seamless. A customer, a user, somebody is focusing on what do I need to get done, whatever that is, and what we're able to provide is doing it, and it's seamless. we've got to create a lot of technology to get there. In some ways, a lot of the systems that we do really aren't quite autonomous. I'll just say they're very efficiently and highly automated. So we've got to do better than that. Ultimately, the goal is to make sure that we're not replacing people, that old cliche. It really is about making things better for people. I'd rather have people safer, more engaged with the types of things that are important for them to work on. And if we can do that with our types of systems, by putting more intelligence into the systems, always making sure that the humans are in charge, that's absolutely a key tenet of anything that we do. When we do that, we're going to have capabilities. I don't care if it's in a high altitude aircraft or if it's in a car, something under sea, something in our devices that we use around the house. That type of autonomy is going to be incredible for us all. So there are going to have to be a number of things that we do, I think. And you know, it sounds like a great future. Technology, we can imagine all of this. It's almost here. But yet, even though Jim drove in a self-driving car today, that's not out there. It's not embedded in everything that we do. I'm disappointed. I still don't have my Amazon Prime Air drone deliveries going on. I know exactly where I'm putting my pad in my backyard, so I'm ready, Amazon, bring it on. And there are things that even we do in our business where we look at and we go, wow, they want a pilot to do that? Oh, my goodness. So clearly, it's not necessarily just technology, although we do need to do more with the technology to make it better. There are a lot of barriers, and I think we all face some form of them. Cultural. If you're dealing with a group of folks that are used to having people doing it, it's hard to shift them from people to unmanned to autonomous. How do we overcome those cultural barriers? There are structural elements. I mean, certainly incorporating some of these really game-changing capabilities and technologies are going to require infrastructure and investments. There's also, of course, the regulatory situation that you run into. So there's a lot of things that can trip the seeming inevitable progress of autonomy to make the world better. And yes, we do need to make sure the technology keeps moving along. I think we're getting to a tipping point, though. My son grew up, basically, I call him a digital native. He never knew a world where there was no internet. We had to explain to him, what dictionaries were, and encyclopedias. That concept was really, really crazy. And of course, we all, with the phones that we have and the way the world operates right now, very, very digital. Everybody understands that. I think, and part of the challenge that I think we all need to undertake here is 20 years from now, this next generation needs to wake up and basically not even realize it, but they're autonomous natives. Autonomy has been incorporated in so much of their life, they don't even think about it. They understand it, it's there, it helps them, it makes them safer, better, more productive, whatever that is. And that's where we need to go. It's going to be a challenge. I think it's going to take everybody working on this. And as I mentioned, there's lots of barriers that we're going to have to overcome. And it's a big all-inclusive we. It's industry, it's academia, it's government, it's individual innovators. Everybody needs to be talking and working on how do we do this. Yeah, I look at academia, keep coming up with wonderful ideas, keep doing the things that are leading to new technologies. But I'll also say, please keep training and educating the types of individuals that we need to move autonomy forward. Sometimes in my industry, we have a tough time getting system engineers to help pull things together. Autonomy is a broad capability. You need computer scientists, engineers of all types, math. When you start talking about artificial intelligence, you start getting into human behavioral characteristics. This is truly a big, broad system engineering type of problem. And I think we need academia to step up and really focus to help us get those types of people working on the problems that we all want to solve. Clearly, government has a significant role working with us to make sure that we understand and can work through all of the things that need to be done so autonomy can be incorporated safely. But this world, this country, has always stood for innovation and making sure that we innovate and innovate properly. And I'm confident that we'll be able to work through those types of regulatory things with the government and with AUVSI helping along the way. We're going to continue making progress there. And then finally, industry, big, small, little. We all just need to keep our head down, working with the technology, making sure we've got people focused on the right problems. And then we also need to keep our head up, looking around and making sure we know what's going on. I'm excited to be here because I get to see and interact with a bunch of people doing a bunch of things that look like they have no connection to my business, but I don't know, maybe they will in 2 years. Maybe they have an idea that I need to incorporate. I need to understand and not get trapped in my own worldview of what type of missions and capabilities are important for us. So that type of collaboration, that type of interaction amongst everyone, I think helps move us all forward together. So I started with who wanted to be a part of the next big thing. I certainly want to be a part of the next big thing. I want to be a part of a lot of next big things. I think this room can do a huge amount of next big things, all in your own areas. But we've got to deal with questions and we've got to deal with some challenges. So, you know, we should be talking about what else do we need to do? How much further? How much energy do we have to put in it? What do we need to know? What aren't we working on now that we should be working on? Or are we drilling some dry holes? How do we work on cultural acceptance of autonomy? True story, in certain parts of the world, I have to use a second business card that says unmanned because autonomous is sort of a bad word. And I have to be sensitive to the customer's cultural acceptance of autonomy. I shouldn't have to do that. And if we do our jobs well, the world will benefit from autonomy. Keep innovating, always, always, always. Just keep plugging away. But what does that innovation look like? How do we do it? What do we need to do? Those are the types of discussions that need to interact. We saw Dirk out here. He's talking about stitching together a bunch of interesting capabilities and using and generating data in a new way. That's absolutely innovation. We all need to be thinking of things along those lines. So let me wrap up and say I'm committed to working with all of you so that we can all generate a next big thing in our own little world. But we're going to have to talk about it. I'm ready to talk about it. Please talk to me. Please talk to yourselves, your co-collaborators, anybody that you think that has an ability to weigh in and make a difference. We need to hear from you. We need to be working. AUVSI is going to be a big partner in this. You see the email up there. I want to hear from you so that we can talk, and we're going to make this an autonomous world, and it's going to be a bright one in the future. Thank you for your attention this morning. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Appreciate it.
Great
You
job,
bet.
man. Great
You.
job.